In the 1970s, Lindsay Wagner burst onto our television screens as Jamie Summers, the woman who could outrun danger, outthink villains, and still leave you breathless with just a glance. But did you know she was never supposed to last more than 2 episodes on the $6 Million Man? Or that she turned down Charlie's Angels at the height of its fame? Stay on, because we're diving into the trivia, gossip, and untold stories that made her irresistible, on screen and off. You'll find out how she redefined seduction in Hollywood without ever taking her clothes off. And why even today, Lindsay Wagner's beauty, brains, and mystique still leave fans enamored. Lindsay Jean Wagner was born in Los Angeles in 1949. After her parents divorced, she moved with her mother to Oregon, a world away from the flashing lights of Hollywood. But beauty like hers doesn't stay hidden. Before acting, she was a model, a hostess, and even worked in education. She studied psychology. She cared about healing. Stay on to learn how this gentle, soulful woman became the first female action star in primetime TV without ever losing her grace. It was just supposed to be a 2-episode arc. Jamie Summers, the tennis pro and ex-girlfriend of Steve Austin, would die tragically. That was the plan. But something happened. Viewers fell in love, fast. They flooded the network with letters, phone calls, demands. NBC had no choice. They brought Jaime back from the dead, and Lindsay Wagner became the Bionic Woman. Imagine being so beloved that the writers had to resurrect you. While others in Hollywood strutted, posed, and flirted, Lindsay did something different. She stood still. She listened. She made quiet, powerful. In a decade of blazing bombshells, she became the icon of low-key seduction. And yes, men were obsessed, but so were women, because Lindsay felt authentic. Let's talk about that face. The hair, feathered perfection. The smile, soft but magnetic. Those eyes, gentle but knowing. In teen magazines, fans debated, Lindsay or Cheryl Ladd, Susan Day or Jaclyn Smith. But one letter always stood out. Lindsay doesn't look like a doll. She looks like a dream you actually lived. Her look was seductive without being loud, sensual without scandal.
Jackson, Charlie's Angels, Michael Learned, The Waltons, Seda Thompson, Family, Lindsay Wagner, The Bionic Woman. And the winner is...
In 1977, Lindsay Wagner did what no one expected. She won an Emmy, not for a soap, not for a tragedy, but for playing Jamie Summers, a superheroine. And here's the kicker. She beat every major dramatic actress that year. Stay on, because later you'll hear the real story behind the stunt that nearly ended her life during filming. She could have coasted on bionics, but Lindsay wasn't here for the fame ride. She pivoted into roles that mattered. Hattered Dreams, Child's Cry, The Other Lover, stories of trauma, survival, and raw emotion. And she carried those films, not with explosions, but with subtlety. She turned down higher salaries to chase meaning over money. Lindsay never made tabloid headlines for scandals, but that doesn't mean her romantic life wasn't eventful. 4 marriages, each intense. From music industry execs to stunt coordinators. In 1985, she had a son, and everything changed. She stepped back, raised him quietly and pursued her interest in healing, meditation, and energy work. Lindsay Wagner became a teacher, not of drama, but of peace. Here's what makes Lindsay different. She didn't chase Playboy spreads. She didn't pose with martinis or purr in interviews. She let her characters speak for her, and her stillness made you want to lean in. She was seductive, yes, but it was a deeper, longer-lasting seduction, the kind you don't outgrow. Stay on to learn the one moment during filming when a stunt nearly ended her career, and how she came back stronger. She was the first Universal Studios contract player in years. She turned down Charlie's Angels to avoid being just a pretty face. She almost died when a stunt wire snapped mid-air during an episode shoot. The injury kept her in bed for weeks, and she still returned to finish the season, smiling through pain. That's not just dedication. That's bionic spirit. Lindsay Wagner didn't just play Jamie Summers. She became a symbol of strength, compassion, femininity, and independence. While other stars faded into caricature, Lindsay stayed real. She aged gracefully. She taught. She healed. And she proved, decades later, that the most powerful kind of beauty is the one that's rooted in truth. So, the next time you see her running in slow motion, remember, she wasn't just chasing villains. She was chasing integrity. She gave us a heroine who didn't need seduction to captivate, didn't need scandal to be loved, and didn't need noise to be remembered. Lindsay Wagner, forever bionic, forever beautiful, and forever beyond compare.